All right. So, as I said, you all began as you entered the sewer. And you began your trek back to the Barrel and Bullet. As you make your way through the sewers, you hear above you, "You're so useless. At this point, finding them is going to be impossible. They've likely gotten back to their hideout by now. Did your contact forge that evidence we need to arrest Gattlebee? A week? Tell them they have 5 days. Hurry it up. Meanwhile, raid the usual places in Hellside and Smokeside. If you find the thieves, kill them. They're trying to kill you after all, got it? You had no choice. Let your squad know that anyone who makes the killing shot gets a nice fat purse from Mugland as a thank you. Now, get out of here before I shoot you myself." The deputy swears under her breath. Before the sound of her footsteps echoes down the sewer drain, a horse whinny and trots away. Players, can you remind me how many XP you are currently sitting at?
830.
Yep.
30?
And
30.
I forgot to give you an extra 80 at the end of last week.
Oh, that levels us up.
No, it shouldn't.
No.
Nope.
Wait, 9. Sorry, the math is that places us in 9, 10.
So close. But
Work
you
on your
only
math
are.
skills.
Mathematics.
I was like,
I only ha-
my
I
math
need
is bad.
Apparently, one more cup of coffee today. I only had 2. 9, 10.
As you continue and finish your travelings through, you make it back to the Barrel and Bullet Saloon. Phoebe Dunsmith is tending bar. Good to see you all made it back. She says that as if you were any other customer entering the bar. She continues to tend bar for a moment or two before signaling you to follow her. She takes you back to the room where this all began. And she asks you, "How did it go?"
I mean, we found the ghost.
The gold. Where's the gold?
It's right here. I'll pull out the bag of holding and just set it on the table.
She opens the bag of holding, pulls out the ornate box within it, sets it on the table, and smiles. She looks at it for a moment, pulls out some tools, and begins to fiddle around with it. Thank you for the gift subs from Phantom NJ. She pokes and prods until you hear click, click, and the box pops open. Inside, you see what appears to be about 250 gold pieces in gold, or 250 gold in gold and silver. She starts to count out numbers and hands each of you 25 gold pieces apiece. Here's your cut. Now then, the bag is yours. She looks at the group, holding the bag up.
I guess I'll grab it back. And as I do, I'll say, was the lock, the ornate box, was it locked or did she just pop it open?
It was locked.
How did you unlock that so quick?
She grins. I have my ways. Now then, your hats of disguise. I'll take those back.
I don't mean any offense by this, but I thought you said this was supposed to be like swimming in gold type of job.
You don't believe 250 gold is swimming in gold?
No, because you gave me 25 gold.
Indeed. The agreed upon amount when we talked initially. 10%.
I thought it would be 10% of a bigger number.
She looks at you. I didn't realize you were swimming in money and 25 gold was a paltry sum.
I mean, you make a good point. But I like lean really close into her, trying to not let any of the rest of the group hear, but I definitely say it way too loud so everyone hears it anyways.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a lot of trouble with Loveless. I think she wants something I've got. 25 gold might not do it.
We can talk about that in a moment. Now then, the hats of disguise. I'll allow you to keep them for 15 gold apiece.
Oh. That's literally what Rowan does. Like, she's like, oh, and then she's like, oh, and then she gives it back.
It lasts an hour, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, I hand over 15 gold.
All right.
As is Maddie.
All right.
Do I know that that's a worthwhile purchase? Like,
I
do they
mean,
actually cost 15 gold?
It's the ability to hide yourself for an hour at a time. I would not say that is unuseful.
All right. Yeah, I'll hand her that money.
Argus is handing over the 15 gold as well.
All right.
There you go.
So is Rowan the only one who hands the hat back?
Rowan's like, I have other means to disguise myself.
All right.
And she'll pass it back. Like, after giving us only 25 gold and then now offering 15 gold, so now we only left. We did this whole thing for 10 gold and a hat? No. She's just like, nope, I don't want the hat. Thank you.
Phoebe looks at Ocelot.
Go ahead.
You've got problems with Loveless, huh?
Yeah.
She's a cold-blooded killer, firmly embedded in Muglin's pocket. You know she's one of his favorite assassins, not because she's got the law on her side, but because she's a crack shot too, right?
No, I didn't know that. and that doesn't help me feel any better.
Are you telling me you want another job?
I mean, I'll take another job. I can't speak for the rest of them. I think they might be a little tired of me.
I like work. If it pays well, of course.
I can use the coin.
Gotta pay for the bullet somehow. Speaking of which, I need to make a stop.
Dunsmith swirls the dregs of her whiskey in her glass and downs a drink. Stands. She unholsters her shotgun in one fluid motion, then sets the firearm on the table. Well now, she says in a low voice. I suddenly have a lot of dirt on each of you, don't I? Armed robbery, obstruction of justice, evading the law. Quite a rap sheet. She leans against the table and stretches casually. I guess this means I should tell you something about me. I'm not just a saloon owner, for starters. She removes her holster and sets it on the table next to her shotgun. In fact, I work for a very powerful person. Someone you're no doubt familiar with. She puts one hand in her vest, palms something, and extends her closed hand. It's a small signet ring that exhibits the distinctive symbol of the Grand Duchy of Alkenstar. Does Grand Duchess Trietta Riccia ring a bell? Yeah, I thought so. Dunsmith can hardly contain her smirk, enthralled with her own theatrics. What this means is, she sighs, drying out the words, since you work for me, you actually work for the Grand Duchess. Surprised? Trust me. It's good to have friends in high places. Besides, Now that we're all formally acquainted, it's about time the real fun began. Don't you think? And each of you knows that the ring that she showed you is literally the signet of the Grand Duchess Triadaricia. Grand Duchess Triadaricia is the Grand Duchess of Alkenstar, the highest leader within Alkenstar City. And the only people who would have that signet would be those that work for her.
Oh no.
With that, each of you gains 100 XP.
Oh, there it is.
There we
That's 1,010.
Yeah,
go. Now you can say it.
she did the right math that time.
We
Did the
leveled up.
monster math.
So then we have 10 left over.
So each of our group levels
Level
up
2.
to level 2. For those following at home,
Yes.
that means they also gain a free archetype for this level.
Heck yeah, we do.
Additionally, they will get things such as additional spells and increase in AC, increase in perception, increase in a variety of things. So I've already talked to the players and they should have been, and I believe they were, working on their leveling. So let's start with Maddie. Maddie,
Okay.
what is it that you gain from level 2?
So I took the esoteric polymath class feat, and that means, because I am a polymath muse bard, that means I basically have what is the equivalent of a wizard spell book, but for a bard, and it allows me to become a prepared spellcaster rather than a spontaneous caster. So now I can choose which spells I cast today. I still have the spontaneous caster slots the way it functions, but I can choose which spells I have prepared every day. So I can prepare at will and then use my normal spontaneous caster slots to cast from. My free archetype, I took the Dandy dedication, which means that I pick up some expert levels in society and deception, and some other cool stuff. Basically, it means I can use diplomacy skill to perform special downtime activity, influence rumor, spending at least one day of downtime to manipulate the course, tone, or content of a rumor to my benefit. And it basically just allows me to do some more stuff in downtime. And then for my skill feat, I took battle medicine. So now I can use treat wounds in combat.
Very nice. All right. Next up,
And I got an additional spell slot.
Oh, okay. Next up, we have Ocelot. Ocelot, tell us about your leveling.
Let's see. This one's fun. Y'all might have seen it coming. First off, my class feat is Healing Hands, which turns my heal spell from D8s into D10s, which means if Maddie is accidentally too close to me, it won't feel very good for her when I cast it with 3 actions. But everyone else will feel great. My archetype feat is Inventor, because boy howdy, is that where I'm taking this character, and I am so excited for it. I will be gaining the clockwork innovation, which is a little helper buddy, because dedication feats don't really give you as much as taking the full class at the start, and so it's really the best option at this point, and I think it's fun, and I think it's going to add a lot of flavor to the table. And my skill feat is the only battle medicine.
Nice.
Because what else would I take?
2 battle medicines is going to be good. Moving on to Pip. Pip, what are we doing with you?
Pip is taking for a class feat, something simple. It's called Charmed Life. It basically, as a reaction when I attempt a saving throw and I haven't rolled yet, I get a +2 circumstance bonus on the save. So makes him, have a little better chance of surviving the random thing that he'll accidentally throw himself into. For his free archetype, he is taking Acrobat Dedication, which makes him an expert in acrobatics, and it gets better as we go along. It also makes it so when he tumbles through a space, if he critically succeeds, he actually gets a little extra movement because it doesn't take difficult terrain to get through the person. So that'll be circumstances that I will use it, but I just love being an expert at acrobatics because that impacts about everything he does. And last thing I am taking is the skill feat is steady balance. So basically, when attempt to keep his balance, if he rolls success, he basically gets a critical success.
Nice. All right. Next up, we have Rowan. Rowan, what are we going with?
So the two ones that I picked for some reason is not showing up on the app thing that's there, but it was showing up on my phone. So I'm just double checking.
You got to save it, but go ahead.
Okay. But it's not showing up on here, even if I saved it though, like to pick for leveling up for level 2, like on the level 2 on the sidebar menu, right? On level 2. It says class feat, free archetype, and skill feat.
Yep.
Yeah. So when I click on that, I don't see the ones that I saw on the one that was on my phone.
So what'd you pick?
I picked Tumble Behind.
Tumble Behind's not an archetype. Oh, you mean for your class feat?
Yeah. It must be
Okay.
For class feat. Yeah. For class feat, I picked Tumble Behind, but I don't see it on here.
Okay, hold.
And then for the free archetype, I think I found the Concealing Legerdemain. Legerdemain, thank you. And then for the archetype, I picked Poisoner.
Yes.
However, I'm just trying to look them up right now because I can't figure out.
You purchased it on your phone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the phone.
But I
and
also bought it on here too, though.
Oh, really?
Because I just bought it on here.
It's separate though. If you buy it on your phone, it's separate than if you bought it on your.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Let me just look it up real quick then.
Okay.
Tumble. Okay, so Tumble Behind allows me to tumble under and behind my foe to catch them off guard. When you successfully tumble through the foe whose space you pass through is flat-footed against the next attack you make before the end of your turn. So I figured that was really good for Rowan as a rogue. And the second one I picked was Conceal. Oops, that's not, wouldn't be in feats.
Concealing Legerdemain, right?
Yes. Which I thought was super cool. It says rather than hide an object somewhere, the inspectors won't search. You're skilled at keeping an object on the move, so so it's never where they look. When you conceal an object of light bulk or less, you can use thievery instead of stealth for your checks and for your DC of an active searcher's perception check. You roll the check only once, but you must continue to use actions to conceal the object throughout the process, which I thought, again, was just something really neat and cool for like background stuff for Rowan. And the archetype is...
Poisoner, right?
Yes, thank you, which means I can create poisons, correct?
Indeed. Create and apply them to your weapons, which is something that, if I remember correctly, you did during a one-shot that we did. Well, you always
with the reminder of
to...
Evelyn to poison my weapon before I attacked.
Yes.
But yes.
And then we finish up with Argus.
So for Argus, for his class feat, he went with quick draw because, got to get those guns out quick and be able to shoot. For his skill feat, he went with lengthy diversion. Be able to create a diversion and basically critically see to create a diversion. You continue to remain hidden after the end of your turn. So going that with a bit of stealth would be nice. Terry, should I reveal my archetype?
Are there secrets?
Yes. So you can reveal one of the archetypes that opened up with the finishing of chapter 1 of Outlaws and Alkenstar was the Alkenstar. What was the name of it?
Agent.
Oh, yes.
Agent
Alkenstar agent archetype. Dedication. So me and Robert talk, and he has chosen that as his dedication.
Yes, because that's going to play into Argus's backstory. But More than a bit.
which we won't go into quite yet. You'll have to learn
we
through
won't go into.
time.
For his city agent skill, I was trying to figure out, for the purpose of this, should I be doing legal or underworld?
With what you've talked about, you can actually go either way, I would say.
All right, I'm gonna stick with legal because of where he stands. And
Yep.
what he's up against.
So it's one of the things you get with his archetype is another lore skill.
I also get free feet, which will come in handy.
Indeed, it will. And so
It's
our
way better than mine.
it's different than yours. So our group has officially leveled up to level 2. It also means we have finished the first chapter of Punks in a Powder Keg, which is super exciting. But it also means we now continue with chapter 2. Phoebe Dunsmith paces around the Barrel and Bullets back room as she talks. She's animated. She's enthusiastic, clearly firing on all cylinders and still reveling in the success of the gold tank reserve heist. For this next job, Dunsmith says, the Duchess has asked us to secure some very precious cargo. She slides a broadsheet across the table, a poster advertising Vashon Gattlebee's Pyronite exhibition at Blethier College. The poster includes a wood print of a harried human man in his 50s, presumably Gattlebee, and some hyperbolic copy promoting the once-in-a-lifetime explosive showcase. I'm sure all of you have heard of Gattlebee and his Pyronite, yeah? Dunsmith asks. And just a note, you have heard about Gattlebee and his Pyronite. Talk of the town ever since he leveled half of Blithier's largest auditorium. Well, Gattlebee's invention has gotten him a lot of admirers recently. Everyone in Alkenstar wants a piece of the man, or at least a piece of his new invention. Thankfully for us, Gattlebee's turned down everyone who's offered to hire him on or buy the Pyronite formula from him. He's been able to hold off his prospectors from the safety of his own home so far, but he can't hold down that puny brick and mortar fortress forever. Fortunately, the Grand Duchess and I have managed to convince Gattlebee he'd be better off here in the saloon's workshop where no one will know his location. He's game, and now we just need to get him from point A to point B. That's where you come in. We need you to meet Gattlebee at his home on the other side of the city and bring him back to the Barrel and Bullet once he's here. Or once he's here, I can keep him safe. Simple enough job, right? Go get Gattlebee, bring him back here. I'm paying you 50 gold a piece to bring him back in one piece. Dunsmith pinches her bridge of her nose like she's remembered something unpleasant. Oh yeah. As part of our arrangement, Gattlebee made us promise that he'd be able to make a stop along the way here, near Ironside Quarter at some abandoned brewery. Got me why, but that's the deal. Stop at a place called Yeast of All Brewery. Once you've got Gattlebee, besides, it might be a good place to lay low if you need to catch your breath. Anyway, we don't have much time to get this done. Mugland and Lovelace are likely to make a grab for Gattlebee soon. Mugland's been moving money around and paying off some shady folk. By my estimation, we have about 4 days to get Gattlebee before our cargo is compromised. Be ready for Mugland's mercenaries, Lovelace's street gangs, or anyone else under our rivals' thumbs. Dunsmith pulls a rolled-up map of Alkenstar from a nearby shelf and unfurls it across the table. You should scout your route before you pick up Gattlebee, just to make sure it's safe. She then removes her cameo brooch and sets it on top of the map. Show this Gattlebee so he knows you're working for me.
Okay. Remind me, when is the Pyronite?
Remind you of what the Pyronite is?
When?
When?
When is it?
When is the Pyronite?
Yes.
The Pyronite is an explosive.
No, like when is it?
I think he's trying to ask like if there's an expedition or something, but we have 4 days to do this in,
Yeah.
so I don't know that it matters a whole lot.
Pyronite's an explosive compound. It doesn't really have a time.
Oh, and this is just now clicking for Ocelot. It's NITE, not NIGHT.
Indeed.
I thought it was like a
There
big
you go.
festival.
Oh, right. And she looks at
Now
you
it's a German
concerned,
school.
thinking to herself, these are the adventures I've chosen.
For what it's worth, Argus is looking at Ocelot concerned.
What? So we have 4 days.
Yes, that's what she just said.
Pip will pick up the brooch and just sort of twirl it in his fingers, looking at it. Put it in his pocket. I think we can do it.
Well, assuming he does not wish to stay at the brewery for 3 days.
Oh, we'll make sure he doesn't want to.
The sooner we rescue him from his fate, the better, probably.
If he decides to stay at the brewery for 3 days, that's not a problem. The big issue is getting him on the go from his house within 4 days. It does give you some time to scout before you do, but as long as you're on your way before that 4th day, we should be okay.
Okay. That makes more sense.
She looks at the 5 of you.
Maddie's looking at the map. So where exactly is his house again?
Of course. And she points, and you see on the map, and I'm going to pull this over so everybody else can see.
Anyway,
Map.
Terry, I'm showing the game is paused at the moment.
Oh, yeah, no, it's going to be paused. Can you
okay,
guys see the map at all?
Yes.
No.
I see area names, but that's it.
Okay,
Same.
that's fine. I'll just go ahead and pull. I'm going to put you all in the river
How dare you put us in the river?
just so you can
First
see
one to come
it.
to this.
Ah, can you guys swim?
I'm not
I
trained
know,
in
everyone knows what-
swimming.
Neither am I. Help!
All
I'm
right.
gonna push the level.
Vampires are notoriously bad with running water.
And the two of us grew up in the desert.
Yes. Wet. What is this? It's wet.
And
I
I'm
don't wanna-
wearing, and Argus is wearing a very expensive suit.
That sucks.
I don't
So,
fancy getting my guns wet either.
so you
There's
look,
that.
Wet powder.
you look,
Terrible.
and she kind of points on the map, and I'm gonna mark it for you guys. This is roughly
All right. Guess I'll
where
listen.
Gattlebee's place is. Okay. Now,
Okay.
oh, go ahead.
I was just asking. So if we level up in Path Builder, will it go into that the Foundry?
No, and
So-
we'll do that momentarily. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll probably. I'm not sure you'll need it before break, but
Okay.
we'll see. Well, with this group, who knows?
What do you mean?
Oh,
Terry?
in the river, game over.
So yeah, so this is roughly where Gattlebee's house is, and this is roughly where the bullet and barrel is down here.
Oh wow. Okay.
Um,
So
check.
I have no concept of how far distance that actually is. 'Cause
So-
all I see is like area name.
Right,
All I see is
and-
area names. I don't see an actual map.
You don't see the map?
I'm sure
It's
it's
just black. It's just black
It's
with the
just
names
black.
on it,
Oh,
and then
see.
us 5 together.
you
I
guys
have-
should reload,
Oh.
refresh the page
I
because I
have
can
Yeah,
see
'cause
definitely
that.
see it.
I see the map. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I was like, everybody should.
apparently didn't think I was logged in anymore.
Oh,
Oh,
apparently.
Oh yeah, I'm not showing you logged in,
Yeah. Come
That was
back.
weird.
and I'm not
Come
showing.
back,
I'm not
please.
showing Vivi logged in either.
Yeah, I'm
I
seeing
have
her
to.
now.
I
I
have
see her
to log in. That's why. There we.
Hey,
So there. This one.
Ah, yes, there we go.
Okay.
It's really weird because it brought up my character before when I came in, so I don't know why it decided to log me out.
Mine was the same thing, Rob. Mine looked exactly like yours. I don't know what happened either.
All right, so so this is roughly where his house is as I ping it,
Okay.
Hmm.
and this is roughly where the bullet and barrel is pinged.
and Terry,
Yes.
other than famed inventor of that cool stuff that blows up.
Ironite.
A pyronite?
Yeah, that
Not
cool.
a-
That's what I said.
That cool stuff that's not a festival.
That cool stuff that's not a festival that
All right.
definitely blows up. That's what I said.
Not a festival, a bomb.
Listen, you guys. Is he? What else is he known for? Would I know him for anything? Is he a member, perhaps, of the church?
He is not a member of the church.
Okay.
You would not know him from that. You would have heard about him, and if you know, you would have heard about what had happened at the college. It was pretty big news. Essentially, he blew up a part of the college. And so with the Pyronite, he was giving essentially a lecture on the Pyronite when it occurred. And it was a pretty powerful explosion. He blew up an entire building with merely a dose, no bigger than a musket ball.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it was, it's powerful stuff. And you have to imagine it's not something that this city or any cities really in Galarian would have seen before. Art of Mike Disney, hi. Hello.
All right. So, in order to get prepared for this, I need to make a small excursion to the Temple of Bree. Anyone want to come with me for that? I'm looking to kind of keep it on the down low. I need to grab an old invention I was working on.
Is there?
Sorry, Rowan will look at you and just be like, "Do you have to ask?"
Well, I know you're in, Rowan. I just didn't want to impose on anyone else.
Is there a shop? Is there a shop along the way where I can purchase some more bullets?
I'd have to imagine that in Skyside, near that Auburn district, there's going to be.
You're in
some sort of
Smokeside,
shop.
though.
I know, but the church is in Skyside.
Oh,
Which
gotcha,
is where
gotcha,
I
gotcha.
want to go for
Gotcha. Okay.
lore reasons.
No, that's fine. So, looking at, Phoebe's going to look at the group. You do what you need to do. Just know that you need to get started within 4 days. Otherwise, there's a chance we lose him. And she looks at you, Argus, because did you mentioned the needing to go shopping? Out loud?
Yeah, because
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. She looks at you and she says, "What are you looking for?"
I need some more rounds, ammo.
She grins.
That job took quite a bit.
We're not called the Barrel and Bullet for no reason. Step
Listen.
outside and talk to one of our bartenders. They'll take care of you.
I like this. Shot and a shot.
You just can I get a pint of bullets?
Just a question. You said 50 gold, correct, each, if we bring him back alive?
That's what I said.
Now, what if perchance something does happen to him?
At that point, you'll have to deal with the Duchess. And she looks at
don't
you.
Wanna...
She looks at you with a very, very straight, stern face.
So don't bring him back if something were to happen to him along the way. Just leave him, or do you want us to still bring him? Is my question.
He knows we're sending people for him. You are the people. If something happens, Alkenstar City may not be the best place to stay.
Noted.
When you say something,
The Duchess believes he's valuable.
What does the Duchess want high explosives for?
Honestly, to bury it. Having that stuff out in the world is too dangerous. If it falls into the wrong hands, a whole lot of people are going to get hurt. Gattlebee's been too wrapped up in his work itself to see how much potential his invention has to destroy lives. Thankfully, that's the same reason why he hasn't sold it. He cares more about getting Pyronite right than making a profit. The best thing we can do is get Gattlebee somewhere safe so he can continue his research well away from anyone who wants to steal it.
That brings up a different question.
Yeah.
If Lovelace gets her hands on Gattlebee, and it does not look like we're going to be able to retrieve him, how important is it that he stays out of her hands?
And she looks at you first, Argus, before looking at the rest of the group. If that were to happen, then I will have failed my job in finding somebody capable of doing the job that's needed. There's a very likelihood that I will need to leave Alkenstar City as well. He needs to be alive. Make sure it happens.
So basically, don't screw up and don't screw up. Good to know.
Right.
You better get this right.
Look,
No,
look.
no pressure.
Scout your route between Steamhaven and Ferris Quarter before you pick him up. There's no good sewer access between here and there, so you'll want to bring him overland through the city. You'll run into trouble, no doubt about it. Goon's hired by Muglin for sure. You should be able to catch your breath, like I said, at the East of All Brewery before completing the final leg of the trip, but as long as you have it scouted out, you should have a pretty good idea on how to get here as quick as possible.
Where's the brewery exactly? You
Yeah.
showed me where the Baron Bullet and where he lives, but where's this brewery on this map here?
Maybe I
It
should
is
get that hat.
exactly where Gattlebee says it is.
Wow, that's a lot of information.
That's the DM saying he doesn't have the info in front of him right now.
That info is not provided within this
This
booklet.
is not a problem planning for an unknown stop at an unknown location.
Hopefully Gattlebee has his wits about him then.
Okay. So who's going out to the sky side?
I need to go. And I think Nightshade's gonna come with me. If anyone's interested, there could be some fun stuff over there, but I think the smaller the group, the better.
I just need some sling bullets. That won't take me very long.
I mean, I think they've got you here for bullets. Doesn't matter what shape or kind.
Yes, I can find some other ways to fill my time for entertainment, so I think I'm all set.
You want to come with, Pip?
I don't know that I have a need. We might want to start scouting out a little bit in advance.
Okay. Well, Nightshade, why don't we make our way over to Skyside, see the church? You guys head over to Steamhaven. We should find somewhere to meet tonight if we don't get word back to each other.
And Phoebe looks at you all. We have rooms. Feel free to stay here.
Sound like a plan?
The test done. We'll take a look if it's not too late. If it is too late, we'll rest and do the scouting tomorrow.
And what time is it? It should be fairly early/midday, right? Because I think we went to sleep. and
Yes,
basically
you went to
finished.
sleep and woke up the next day. And so you're probably looking, with the amount of time it took you to walk by, you're probably looking at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So you have 4 days, according to
Including
Phoebe, included. So 96 hours, right? Before things might go sideways, per Phoebe.
Why don't we meet back up here at sundown? The three of you guys can go, maybe scout around Steamhaven, see what you see. We can head over to the temple.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds like a plan.
Dean, are we going now or are we going later? Just asking because I'm about to order a drink.
Let's go now. You can wait till
Maybe
later.
maybe they'll give it to go.
Well, and if you want to tell me what you want, I can order it for you, and then it'll be ready for you when we get back.
As she's like standing up to like gather her things, she's like, four whiskeys, thanks.
Right.
Argus looks up at Rowan and says, I promise not to get too far ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna hold you to that though. And she like looks like dead serious as she's like literally like just sitting there pointing at you, like, don't start without me.
He gives a look of momentary regret and then gives a little smile.
Have fun going to church.
And like she kind of like shudders, but she's like, okay, I'm just going.
You also see Ocelot shudder as well when he thinks about that.
Why are you shuddering?
And yet they both chose to go there.
That's true.
Maybe you should ask me along the way.
As she kind of rounds up to go grab her stuff, she like actually sneaks by Pip just behind, and she's like, I bet you that Argus will start before me. 1 gold piece. Deal.
Fine. I can't stop. I'm pretty sure he's going to lose this one, but he can't help himself.
Out of character, I said not too far ahead. I didn't say I wasn't going to start.
Do you want the deal or not? Do you want the deal or not, Pip? I gotta go.
Yep. No
Okay.
problem. Yes.
Sounds good.
Just trying to figure out how can he distract him and slow him down.
Ocelot will be waiting outside.
Yeah. Okay. And
we
then
didn't get any scouting done, but I kept him from drinking. So.
and you feel like Rowan's like both hands just kind of like behind your shoulders as she's kind of like pats them as I'm like, okay, good luck. And then she like heads out.
All right, so we have Keen Ocelot and Rowan Nightshade on the road, heading towards Skyside. We'll get back to them in 1 second. We've got Maddie and Argus and Pip all staying this side, right? And I know Argus said you're going to scout, right? Maddie and Pip, are you scouting as well?
Argus is not scouting.
Oh, Argus is not. Okay.
I'm getting my sling bullets, but then I'm going and inspecting this place.
Okay. And Pip, are you doing the same?
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna go, I might as well scout along the way. So
Okay. So Maddie and Pip, as you head out towards Steam Haven to begin scouting, you walk the streets, and the city is bustling. It is busy. It is just like any other city. There are vendors along the street, stores that are open, people yelling as they are trying to get people to come into their stores. You've got children running around, etc. As you make your way over to Steam Haven, I need each of you to give me either an athletics, perception, society, or survival check. I'll leave it entirely up to you what you roll.
Repeat those checks.
Athletics, perception, society, or survival.
I will take society since I'm expert in society now with
All
my
right.
dandy dedication. So 1 second.
And Pip, what will you be rolling?
Oh, I guess athletics.
All right. Maddie, tell me your roll when you are ready.
All right, let's see. Where's that little thingy? Where's me? That is not something clicky.
Actually, I'll go perception.
Perception. All right.
Society. Wait, I didn't update my society stuff in the Forge. I added the dandy dedication, but I don't know if it's like
Did you make yourself level
working
2?
right. Mm-hmm. I did. I added my archetype feat. I did not
Which
increase
was
my-
dandy dedication, correct?
Yep.
And you're talking society for your roll, right?
Yep, I should be expert, which I just changed and I went up to 8. Okay.
Yes,
so
you've got to
then-
click it. Sorry.
And then what was the other one? Deception went up to 8, or expert as well. So I'm gonna go manually trade that. So now I can roll that. Okay, so skill, society, roll +8. Now here goes nothing. I'm gonna use a hero point and roll that.
It's so funny. when
That's
you're
always
doing
a good
physical
start.
dice.
Natural 1. Yeah. Okay.
Not bad.
All right.
Oh, that's much better.
All right. And go ahead, Pip. Go ahead. Give me your roll.
Okay. Ooh.
Will you be using?
Because I only got 1 hero point. I'll save it.
Oh, you'll save it. Okay. All right. So I need to make some notes on stuff. You don't gain any information yet, but you will. And I'll explain that momentarily. Argus, you're just hanging in the bar, right?
Argus goes always hanging at the bar. He takes a seat at the bar itself and orders a bottle of whiskey and a couple of glasses and tells her to leave the bottle.
I've already lost.
If you better get on it.
At which point he starts disassembling and cleaning his pistols because they misfired on him, and that can't be happening.
All right. They did indeed. I remember that.
You have a repair kit, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, Maddie, you managed to speak with several locals, and you gather some information, which I will share with you soon. And both of you, after about half a day doing some scouting, you head back to the Bullet and Barrel. Barrel and Bullet. I did that backwards, and that was totally on purpose. Duh.
Yeah.
You, on the other hand, Pip, don't actually learn anything quite yet.
By the way, Terry, the other thing I did was buy bullets.
All right. So,
However many they have available.
yeah, bullets are not expensive.
Nope.
So just make sure if you do it in Path Builder, you can do the math there.
I would have picked up my sling ammo as well
Right.
while we were out, and that's a copper piece for 10. So
Right. Exactly. And your bullets would be approximately, actually, exactly, because I'm doing the math in my head. For 10 rounds, costs you a silver piece.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Ocelot, you and Rowan make your way to Skyside, which is not necessarily a short trip. As we look at the map, it's going to take you.
But the church is right here, and if we're going across this bridge,
Do you know how to ping?
I believe I am.
Oh,
Dang it.
hold on. There. Okay.
So the church is right there.
Gotcha. Okay.
Once we cross that bridge, I'm going to activate my Hat of Disguise
Oh.
to not look like a follower of Bree and just look like a half orc, just a big dude.
Half orc.
As we're crossing.
So no longer
Yes.
null.
No.
All right. All right. You make your way across, and half orcs are not rare in Alkenstar City. I would not call them the norm, but they're not rare. And so you don't really get any real side glances from any of the locals. You head your way over to, and I'm going to zoom in so everybody can kind of see. Let me switch images to that ping right there, which is a Temple of Bree. And Bree is the clockwork goddess. She is a very different than many of the other gods that are out there, in the sense that she is she is not human, or she's not humanoid,
Flesh.
like flesh-like. That's a good way of putting it. She is the goddess of invention, and particularly favors creations that take on lives of their own.
So would we know that in general, or is that just something that
Keen would know that very much
He would
so.
know that.
And you would, living in Bree is a very prevalent goddess within Alkenstar City. And so you may not have as much knowledge as Keen does, but you're going to have enough knowledge to know who Bree is.
Okay.
If that
So
makes
as we're walking, okay.
Yep.
So as we're walking there, Rona looked to Keen. Why are you shuddering at going to church of all people? Me makes sense. You know me, but you?
It's been a while, Nightshade, since I've seen you. You remember when I left the clan?
Yeah.
I went to go join the church. Wanted to see Alkenstar more than anything. But you know me. I'm kind of a curious cat. No pun intended. I might have gotten into a little bit of trouble at the church.
What kind of trouble? You getting into trouble with the church?
Curiosity killed the cat and all that. I just need to pick up something.
And you can't go as yourself.
Unfortunately, no.
And she kind of gives you that look like you're not talking to like a random person. Like, come on now.
I will pull you into an alleyway.
Ooh. And she's like, "Ooh, we're doing this. Okay, nice. So we like this."
And then I pull off the hat of disguise. I imagine that when I put it back on, it'll still stay activated, but I want her to see under it for half a second. And then I've been wearing the goggles ever since you've seen me, since you came into town. I take them off and put them on the top of my head. And you see, in place of Keen's left eye is a piece of clockwork with claws that have reached into his skin and around near his eye, piercing partway through the top of his nose. And it looks like it's just sort of looking in different directions than what his other eye normally looks in. And then occasionally it'll match up with his other eye. And then it'll sort of look off in its own directions. And then he really quickly puts the goggles back on.
No, before you even try to put it back on, like if she sees it, she's like gonna grab you like by the shirt like here, and she's just gonna pull you in closer and be like, "What is that?
I don't know.
What did you get into?"
I don't know. It's a thing that they had at the church. They said it was an artifact and they said not to touch it. So of course I touched it.
Keen, what did you do? That's why you're wearing these dang goggles. I thought it was just a fashion trend that you were trying out. I mean, they look good on you, so
Thanks.
Whatever. But so like this, do I have to be worried about it?
I don't know.
You know, you can tell me everything, right?
Your
I don't know
family,
why
I
you
know
thought that you could hide something from me.
We've been with these other people ever since we got back together in that bar. This is the first time I've had the chance to tell you. Don't think I didn't want to.
All right. As long as you know that you can talk to me.
It talks to me sometimes.
In what ways?
Hard to explain. Listen, I need to find, I was working on something impressive and important before I left. I had to leave it behind. We have to go pick it up. And I might have a connection, an old buddy at the church. My dwarven friend.
Okay.
He maybe I'll have a cart, something we can use to get across town in.
Okay. Whatever you need.
All right.
She kind of like pats you on the back and she's like, "Okay, let's go."
If you see a dwarf, Where did I write the name? Oh goodness. My notes are dwarf. He's got a hammer symbol on his chest. His name is Kale. I might ask you to talk to him because think I'm too afraid to do that. No.
Now you're talking hammer on his chest. Like, do I have to, like, at what point am I going to see this guy without his shirt on? Like, does he normally go with his shirt unbuttoned, or like, what are we talking here?
If he is in the smithy, then he probably is.
I see. Okay.
You've probably not been into a church of Bree before. It's mostly just a big crafting area more than anything.
You know, I tried to avoid churches. Not really my thing.
Bree might be the lady for you. We don't really do books and, divine intervention and all that too often.
Fair. Okay, let's go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Of course. And we'll head.
Yeah, Keen will head down the road.
You continue in your. Go ahead.
So Rowan would make no note of it. She's not going to try to even like draw attention to it at all. She's just going to act completely normally, just as if he didn't tell her.
So you all continue to head to the Church of Bree, and you know that this is the Temple of Bree in Alkenstar City, and Bree's worship really is focused in Alkenstar and Numeria, and it is the largest house of worship to Bree, led by Clock Mother Athenth Lenalir, who works both to optimize the district's clockwork manufacturing and increase her own family's political standing. So as you arrive, it is a sight to behold. Gears cover the facade. Many of them tick, 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 rotating. Brass, copper, both the metals that the temple is made of, glisten in the sun. Doors "15 feet tall stand before you. What do you wish to do?
All right. So, before I had to flee, I was working on something. You know about clockworks. I was building one of my own. You know those dogs that we fought down in the whaling scrapyard?
Yeah.
I thought it'd be fun to make an ocelot, kind of nail on the head type thing. But it's a companion that might be able to help us out in our ventures, scout out ahead, do some things that we can't necessarily do. I got it most of the way completed. I might need some help extricating it from the church. You're good at that.
You're just talking right up my alley. And she just like this like glow comes over her eyes because she's just so excited. So what does this thing look like? It looks like what you say it looks like?
Yes.
An ocelot?
My room was in the back, one of the newer members of the church. And I'll give her whatever guidance I need for her to get to my room.
Okay.
I'll go in, and if anyone in there looks like they might get in your way, I'll try and maybe do a little bit of abstraction, talk some people up or something. I don't know.
Now this ocelot thing, it's not going to attack us like those dogs in the...
No. Just put it in the bag, and I hand you the bag of holding.
Oh, okay. Got it. Say less.
So you all enter the Temple of Bree, yes?
Yes.
Real quick before we continue, I want to say a big thank you for Robert for the gift sub as well as the new follower. Additionally, I have no map for this because I was not expecting this.
Hey, we don't need to go in depth as we are, because this is literally just me justifying the character choice that I made.
No, I love it. I love it. And all right, so you all head in. And for those that have never been in the Temple of Bree, the largest temple of Bree in all of Galarian, it is a sight to behold. As the outside was covered in gears and brass and copper, the inside is covered in the same, but some of these gears are made of gold, some of the gears of silver. You see constant machinations moving throughout. You see what could only be described as different levers and pumps and wheels and gadgets in continuous motion. But one of the things you do notice is that even with all of this, it is not loud. These pieces have been built in such a way that they do all of this work effortlessly. Standing at the altar, doing what appears to be some organization and preparation for the next sermon, is the High Clock Mother, Athenth Lanelier. She looks up, sees Keen Ocelot.
Looking like a half orc.
Yeah, looking like a half orc, right?
Yes.
Okay. And says, "Welcome to the Temple of Bree. How may I be of service?"
Clock Mother. I was wondering. I had heard news from afar of a artifact you held within the church. I have made my pilgrimage here to learn of it.
She looks at you. Are you referring to the artifact that's on
The
your
thing
face?
that's embedded
just
in my
wanted to make
face,
sure.
yeah.
Just I wanted to verify.
I'm looking for the thing that's been embedded in my face.
She looks at you. I see. Well, the time now is not the best time to talk, as I am preparing for our next sermon. But if you return tomorrow, I would be happy to discuss it with you. How far did you say you have traveled?
From the mana wastes.
And you see that piques her interest. I see. Yes, then. Let's discuss tomorrow. And what was your name?
Ken.
Ken.
And Rowan will actually like try to stifle just a snicker, but she quickly turns around and is just like admiring the work.
She looks
I
at
cough
you.
really loudly and look towards the door that heads into the back. I give you like a really obvious look.
She looks at you. An interesting name for a half-orc. All right, then.
He gets it from his human side. She'll like chime in. As she kind of looks at like all this stuff. I'm sorry, is there a bathroom in here I could use?
She looks at you.
I dragged her along. Sorry, that's my cousin.
The Knoll is your cousin.
Married in. It's a weird family. Don't ask. I really need to pee.
Of course, forgive me. And she points to the back left-hand side. Please. Now I have some preparations to make. Ken, we will speak soon. And you see her go through a back door as she heads back to gather some more material for the sermon.
Oh my god. I just
like,
start
she'll literally
panting and
look at you like,
hyperventilating.
Ken, really, of all names, that's the name you pick is Ken.
I've never told a lie that bad in my whole life. Oh my god.
You need to tell more lies. Let's go. I need to go to the bathroom. Really though. And then
Wait, you do? I can show you where it is.
okay, show me where it is, and then we can go and get whatever you need to get.
Yes, let's go. And we just do the thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
we
no.
need to
You
worry
guys
about the details of it.
you gather what you need to, and you make your way back to the Barrel and Bullets, Ken, and you meet up with the group about it's going to be about 8 o'clock in the evening.
There's 4 whiskeys waiting on the bar for Rowan.
Of course there is.
Did we procure the thing?
Yes, you got the thing.
Yeah. So so she'll come out and be like, it's in the bag. I got you. And she'll like toss the bag to you as we leave.
Sweet.
That church wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
When we get to the Barrel and Bullet, Ocelot will go straight to whatever room he's been told is his.
Okay. All right.
You need me to come with you, or you're okay?
Go drink.
Gotcha. Say less. And she'll and same thing. And like if you notice with her, her demeanor and her attitude towards you hasn't changed at all, despite knowing what you've told her. So she's keeping it like and heads down. And she like she's like, hey, Pip, how you doing?
Pip's gonna like most of the time they got there, like immediately try to like separate the bottle away, like anything he can to like grab it. Oh, maybe I can, I can juggle, and it's okay if I accidentally whoops and drop it, and we're gonna have to get another one. It'll cost him more in gold to win the bet, but
because he just wants to win.
There will come a point where, without even looking at him, Argus will just draw one of his guns pointed at him and says, "Put the bottle down."
And then Rowan will pull up a seat, sitting backwards on the chair. So like the back of the chair in the front of her, and she's kind of leaning on top of it. Argus, I hope you didn't go too far ahead of me.
I seem to have been delayed as he glares over at Pip, but I had him upgrade the bottle. What's the
Nice. And she'll sit down and take a swig. Just a
Pip's
full
totally
shot.
okay with this. I'm okay with buying more bottles or bigger bottles to win the bet.
at this point, Argus's 2 pistols are on the bar. He's still checking. He had reassembled them, and he was in the process of checking, making sure that everything felt right, checking the chamber and such.
And Maddie, what are you doing?
Maddie, are you a drinker? As like she starts to like pour one like a whiskey.
Not particularly often. Sometimes partake, but not tonight.
More for Argus. And she like takes her second shot.
Now that Rowan's here, he'll like slide all the bottles back over to Argus. And like, I'm good now.
You better slide that 1 gold this way too, Pip. While you're at it.
Bartender.
By the way, Terry, I sent you a message on Discord.
Okay, thank you. Bartender sits behind, watching. Do you have them on the bar, Robert?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you see both of Argus's pistols sitting on the bar. Argus, can you describe them?
So they are standard. Well, they at first glance look like standard dueling pistols. However, you can tell that the handle and the grip has a bit of a custom design meant for, and it's really the only place that you see any real difference to them. The grip looks slightly different from one to the other. However, it's the base of the grip that you notice that there are what appear to be letters, 2 different letters, one on each. One has the letter E, one has the letter A. Argus turns to Rowan as he takes a drink and says, "So, your cousin get what he need?"
Yeah, it appears so.
Good.
Turns out that church isn't actually really a church, more like a place where people come and build stuff. I don't know. I don't really get it. I'm not really sure either. But yeah, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Bathroom was not too bad though.
That's a good thing to know for future reference. If I should ever find myself
In need of a
there.
washroom, then you know what? It's not a bad place to pee. Just letting you know.
Bartender's
Okay.
listening to this conversation and looks at Rowan for a moment. And this is a half elf bartender. Looks at Rowan for a second. You noticed the bathroom more so than you noticed the church itself.
Yeah. Why is that odd?
She just continues wiping the counter. No reason. And moves down to a couple other customers down at the other end. You all continue drinking and revelry into the evening before you head to bed. Everyone has a wonderful night's sleep. Is everybody? Argus, you can... Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. No, everybody is not at full, it appears.
Well, because we leveled up, and I don't think that gave us
It does
current HP.
no, it does not. But you can all use your rested utility, and utility use rest for the night, and that will give you some
More
health.
HP now.
Yeah, exactly. Except for Maddie. Maddie's at full. You know, it is what it is.
Still only 2.
Sorry, how do we do that?
You go to utility and rest for the night when your character's selected.
In
The drop down, the drop.
Foundry?
Yeah, in Foundry.
In Foundry or
Mhm.
Okay.
Terry,
Yes.
some of us were injured, correct? I didn't use all of my spells before I went to sleep.
Right.
I will offer people to gather in my room that want healing
Okay.
before we go to bed,
Yes.
and I will cast heal at 3 actions on anyone who wants it.
So basically, party in Keen's room except for Maddie. She's going to avoid that at all costs.
Maddie,
Come on, Maddie. You can tell that like
nah, she looks uninjured. She's fine.
no, I know, but like Rowan's
I've
just
been-
like, come on, Maddie. Like just come
I can
hang
just
out for a
slap
little
another
bit.
bandage on this. It's good. I'll see y'all in the morning.
I have noticed you don't really bleed the same.
Well, that's a conversation for another time. Anyway, good night.
Oh goodness, I have a horrible eye, and you're like, don't worry about me. You'll have to learn about the fact that you hurt me when you heal me, the hard way. All right, so I will cast that.
Okay, go ahead, cast it.
Let's see what we get. Those should be D10s. Why are those D8s?
Are they
The
D10?
feet. Healing hands. Whenever you cast heal, you roll D10s instead of D8s. Do I have to turn that on?
This is for use to heal, right?
Yeah.
This is the 3 action heal, right?
It shouldn't matter. I'll be rolling D10s no matter what.
Oh, and what feat is it that allows that?
It's called Healing Hands.
Just
It's a cleric class feat.
Yep.
When
Do you add
cast
it on
heal.
your character sheet?
I did. It is in my class feats. It's
I think you're
very,
having the
very
same
odd.
issues that I was with my skill things being not right.
Interesting.
I rolled an 8 on a D8. That's pretty dang good.
Well, you just I'll allow you to keep that, or if you wanted to re-roll to a D10, that's fine as well. But I think
No, I'm gonna
that
keep
8 heals everybody to full, doesn't it?
I
Not
believe it
Pip.
does.
No, not Pip.
Then I'll do it again.
While Pip comes into the room, he's like, reaches in his pocket, doesn't want to be seen, so he just grabs his gold, sort of slides it over on the side over to Rowan.
Pip, you get another 5 back.
Already did
Anybody
it. Yeah,
needs it.
that'll give everybody full.
Woohoo.
So you're
Great.
good there. All right, so everybody is now full health. You go to bed. You sleep. You sleep well. You wake up in the morning. What is it you wish to do? You can, for those that already scouted a route, you can continue scouting routes. For those that did not scout a route, you can choose to scout a route, or if there are other things you wish to do, that is fine as well.
I think Pip's feeling, he didn't get much done yesterday. Ought to try again.
All right.
Maddie would have relayed what she learned from.
She hasn't fully learned anything yet. She will, though, soon.
Well, what little bit that
Yes.
she did, she would relay that.
Okay. All right. So, Pip, you're going to scout a route. Will anybody else be joining Pip in his scouting of routes?
Oh, yes.
Maddie, yes?
Terry?
Yes.
My shield has 1 damage. I want it to not have that anymore.
So, you would need to work on fixing it.
Repairing it.
Yep.
There's a DC. It says DC is set by the GM.
So, in
And it
this
usually takes 10 minutes.
Okay, so in this point, not in combat, in downtime, you have more than enough time to fix it.
Great. It's only 1 point of damage
Yep.
too.
And so
it's-
that is so
Great.
what you're going to find is that if there is time, I tend to hand wave repairing things and healing if I feel as if there is time available for it. Meaning treat wounds, not like healing spells. So for that, this is a hand wave. We're in downtime. It's very easily fixable.
So Pip and Maddie are looking for a route.
Yep.
What do we think about potentially finding a wagon or some sort of vehicle that we can hide our target in?
Well, we also have these fancy hats that you can disguise people for an hour and
True. We
stick
could
it
give
on
one to
his
him.
head. Oh, look,
Very
it's a strange fella that looks nothing like Gattlebee.
It's Ken.
I don't necessarily want to be seen with him either, and that'll only last for an hour.
I have a handful of them.
We made a new friend. Ah, yes. His name is something or other.
All right. How much would it cost, do you think, to rent a wagon and some horses?
I will tell you this, that a wagon and horses would be okay on the main streets. It will not move quickly in the side streets and would not necessarily move quickly in the main streets. As far as cost goes, the cost for a wagon and a horse, because you would need both, is going to be exactly. And with that, we're going to go to break so that I'm able to look up what the cost of a wagon
Exactly it is.
Sneaky beaky, man.
So at this point, before we do that, so Ocelot is looking into wagons and horses. Pip and Maddie will be scouting a route. Will anybody else be doing Argus? And Rowan, what will you be doing?
Argus is, well, actually, what's Rowan wants to do, because
Rowan
have
would
a
probably
plan.
be sleeping in because of the alcohol consumption. So, I mean, it would probably, it depends on how well Argus holds his alcohol. I would assume he would be doing the same.
he might be. Yeah, there's a good chance.
All right, so you two will be sleeping in. Good. All right. We are going to go to break. And we will come back with the cost of the horse and the wagon